your host for this event. This online discussion was organized by our student society with the aim of giving all the freshers an idea about what chemical and process engineering is, what are the prospects of this field in Sri Lanka and in the global context, and what are the opportunities for higher studies, so that the freshers can make a well-informed decision on their field selection. First, let's move to a short video clip which we have prepared to give a brief introduction.
From the day we are born until our death, our lives are surrounded by materials and energy. No one on earth can imagine a life without food, water, clothes, medicine, and fuels. But now, 1 in 4 people across the globe suffer from moderate or severe food insecurity. 1 in 3 people around the world do not have access to safe drinking water. Each year, we lose 10 million lives due to cancer. 2 billion people across the globe do not have access to essential medicine. Every year, the temperature of the earth is rising due to global warming. The world we live in is no more stable. Population is growing and resources are depleting. The human nation is in search for heroes to save the earth. Are you ready to change the future of human nation? Are you ready to accept the challenge? Are you ready to become a chemical engineer?
Chemical and process engineering is the branch of engineering that deals with physical science, life science, with mathematics and economics to the process of converting raw material into more useful and valuable product for the benefit of mankind. Over the past 50 years, we have produced more than 1,000 globally recognized engineers currently serving all across the globe in various industries, including petrochemical, pharmaceutical, electronic and advanced material, polymer, biotechnology, environmental management, and industrial safety and health. During the first 2 years at the department, students will learn fundamental modules related to fields of chemical and process engineering. During semester 6, students undergo their internship at reputed chemical and process industries in Sri Lanka and abroad. Once the student return back to the department for final year, they will undertake design project to design whole processing plant, including individual process equipment. In addition to the design, the department provides opportunity to undertake research project to the student to enhance their innovative and research capabilities. Also during final year, undergraduate will be given opportunities to specialize in one of the 5 focus areas according to their preference. The department offers focus area in energy engineering, environmental engineering, food and bioengineering, polymer engineering, and petroleum engineering. The Department of Chemical and Process Engineering consists of highly qualified and experienced staff, including 2 senior professors and 6 professors, to guide students throughout their undergraduate life. Our department is equipped with more than 14 laboratories, and students will gain hands-on experience during their practical session. During the degree program, the undergraduate skill in critical thinking, problem solving, and project management will be enhanced, opening up wide spectrum of job opportunities to students in both industry and academia. And moving beyond the academic activities, the department sets the platform for the students to do the extracurricular activities to build their personality of their undergraduate life.
From the development of smaller, faster computer chips to innovations in recycling, treating disease, cleaning water, and generating energy, the processes and products that chemical engineers have helped to touch every aspect of human lives. We chemical engineers do make water drinkable, air breathable, energy renewable, medicine attainable, systems sustainable, processes optimal, products affordable. We make the impossible possible. We explore the ideas, we test the discoveries, we scale up the processes, and at the end, we make your life comfortable.
I hope everyone got a basic our field as of today. Who is the current head of our department, Professor Shanta Egodoge. Madam, you have always been a supportive pillar on the endeavors of our student society. So we are very honored to have your presence here today. I also welcome our panelists, Dr. Mahinsasa Rathnayaka and Mr. Susiri Costa, for taking time out of their busy schedules to provide guidance to our juniors in making a well-informed decision regarding their career path. The program lineup we have for you today is, firstly, we would have a session conducted by Dr. Mahinsasa Rathnayaka, who will be addressing the gathering on the scope of chemical and process engineering, the curriculum we have available at our department, and the opportunities available in the industry. Then a session will be conducted by Mr. Susiri Costa about the different pathways available for chemical engineering graduates, higher studies, as well as foreign work opportunities available for chemical and process engineering graduates. Finally, we hope to conduct a Q&A session where you all will be given the opportunity to clarify any doubts through our speakers. So without further ado, let's get right into the first session with Dr. Mahinsasa Rathnayaka. Dr. Rathnayaka is currently a senior lecturer at the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering at the University of Moratuwa. He has had over 3 years of industrial experience at prominent FMCG companies in Sri Lanka, such as Swadeshi Industrial Works and Unilever Sri Lanka, before joining academia. His educational background is actually quite unconventional because Dr. Rathnayaka started out as a mechanical and manufacturing engineering graduate from the University of Melbourne, but later on he changed to the chemical engineering field when pursuing higher studies through the University, Thammasat University at Thailand. As final year students, my colleagues and I have been privileged to study under the guidance of Dr. Rathnayaka, who always brings a modern twist to the learning content we have at the department and also brings a modern twist to the learning experience. So I think this will be a very interesting session for all our participants. Sir, over to you.
Okay, Good afternoon to everyone, and thank you, Manendri, for a nice introduction on me. Thank you very much for that. So, actually, with the short notice, I was not able to prepare nice slides. Actually, I would like to show some certain slides to you and talk, but let me anyway explain what is the required content to our freshers. So first thing is what is chemical and process engineering. So I think most of the people in Sri Lanka especially, if you go out and say chemical engineering or chemical and process engineering, what normally people think is they are working with chemicals, working in laboratory, something like that, right? Just actually, if you, I think you all are, all these students, freshers are working, you are in the modern era, you all have a smartphone. And you all have a laptop also, I guess, and you have Wi-Fi facilities, internet everywhere. So you can simply do a search in the Google, what is chemical and process engineering or chemical and process engineering, just type like that, even chemical engineering. So then that's the way to go away from myths, right? Or maybe any wrong idea that other people tell to you about anything, not only chemical and process engineering, maybe any other thing. You are in the modern era, so you can just search what is it. So just you can do a simple search. So you can find out a lot of definitions. What is chemical and process engineering? What is chemical engineering, like that. So let me read out a simple definition like that. Chemical and process engineers design, operate, and optimize processes for adding value to raw materials, right? This is I'm reading from some Google search. They means chemical and process engineers, work in areas such as oil and gas, renewable energy, biofuel production, environmental control, environmental preservation, sustainability development, waste treatment, waste management, biotechnology, so and so and so, right? So many things, a big list, right? So you can search like that. So so what is the idea? I think from this small text that I read to you, chemical and process engineers have a vast area, so many disciplines, so many areas to study, learn, and play in their careers, right? Which is absolutely I think somewhat called granted to this field. And I'm not going to compare with another field or just criticize any other engineering field, but this engineering field that you come across today as chemical and process engineering is something that has more and more opportunities than other areas, right? So that's the idea. So if you simply think about other areas, it is too limited to certain things. But this one, you can't even finish the reading. If you start to read out the areas that are related, you can't stop, right? So I can even read the entire hour about the sub areas and everything that you can address. So that is maybe one reason that, because as Manendri introduced me to you, I am by origin a mechanical engineer, but now I am totally, I believe that I have become a chemical and process engineer. So that is also, I think, I looked at the opportunities available, so many areas So I think this audience may have people, students who have your desires, future desire in various areas. Maybe sometimes you may be some person that has desire on even computer related areas, or maybe electronic related areas, right? You don't believe that our graduates are working in Intel Corporation also, right? So maybe you might think, what's the hell that chemical and process engineer can do in Intel? So that is the beauty of this field, right? That is the beauty of this field. Um, you can open the doors to various areas. So if you can search about this, you have to study about this. So if we talk about the situation of chemical and process engineers in the world, right, it is considered as a highly paid area. If you go to abroad, especially the industries where rich in processing industries and chemical industries, our graduates also work in almost all the countries in the world. So that is the story. So even you can do a simple search in the internet, what is the average salary of a chemical engineer? Then you can get to know it is above. If I tell you in dollars in abroad, abroad normally salaries are told in dollars, US dollars. It's more than 1 lakh of US dollars per month for an average chemical engineer. But there are engineers I personally know working in our graduates. After few years, they went to foreign countries and they are earning more than maybe $10,000 per month, right? Something like that. So that's the thing. So that's the field and that's the discipline. But if you really want to work in Sri Lanka, right? In Sri Lanka, also there are a lot of opportunities. We have manufacturing industries. We don't have a dedicated chemical industry. We have some industries, but not that much rich in like in other foreign countries. So maybe in that side, there may be somewhat lesser salaries in the startup, right? In the startup, but when the time to come, when it moves on, I know Sri Lankan engineers who are working in the industry because people in various industries, more than 100 of training, 100 of places, different companies, organizations I'm dealing with. So what I have come across some chemical and process engineers, our own graduates from our department, who are earning more than 10 lakhs per month, right? Maybe not, you may think like 10 years, no, maybe after 5 years, right? So I have met such people. So our own graduates, some people, actually people I have taught also during my 10 years career in University of Moratuwa. So that's the thing. So it's like that. So even in Sri Lanka, the picture is not that bad. So last year, I remember the very recently graduated batch average got nearly 1 lakh salary, 80,000, 90,000 per month, right? But it is just the startup. So don't measure the field or the career by that starting salary. So I'm always telling you, if you try to measure something with the money, that is the starting salary, some profession with the starting salary, that is not the way to do that. So you have to think about the career development and how you progress throughout the profession, right? So usually change quickly to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs within 2-3 years, right? So that's how. So even I met fresh graduates also from the very recently graduated batch who just joined for 1,50,000 also, right? Or maybe 2 lakhs. There are opportunities like that. The thing may be sometimes the opportunities that you take or opportunities that you try, right? That may be different. So it's up to you to not to measure any area, any profession by the salaries. It is up to you to improve your skills, capacity development, your knowledge, skills, and attitudes during the 4 years of undergraduate period. So if you are taking challenges and improve yourself, that is your success. You can definitely maybe the first job, maybe you can join at very high salaries. No need to just do so-called very popular areas. Sometimes people think that highly earned professions are these engineering fields and these like that. There is a categorization like that also. But I rather disagree to that, because I am a person who is really seeing the real picture outside in the industry. So what I see is this. So that I really wanted to share that of Sri Lanka also with you at first before I introduce our program. This is the story, and even if you ask from your seniors, I think maybe our field have plenty of, even at the right at this time, right? So very recently, this beginning of this month, our third years went for training place. There for industrial training during your third year, any field you have to do that, even though you not join with our field, any later area. So some disciplines, actually some engineering disciplines also struggle. They struggle, but we have more than the requirement. We have so many. That is because we have a lot of opportunities, right? So that's the thing. So I really remain something for you to think about our opportunities available. You can ask from anyone, and also you can search in the internet. You can read so take the right decision. Okay, so all these 4 years capacity building, knowledge, skills, and attitudes required for a chemical and process engineer, we are delivering you as the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering at University of Moratuwa. So we have a well-developed, well-structured curriculum that is in par with the industrial standards, right? So our graduates, even most of them go for higher studies. What they feel is our level is even higher than the people coming from entire even the same people available in those countries like Europe countries or somewhere. So people who went abroad for higher studies know this, what is the curriculum alignment with the international standards, right? So that is also like that. So I'm not going to read out our entire curriculum. You can go to our website, our department website, and just check. There are handbooks and all the curriculum details available. So it's your research, but let me quickly the areas that you can learn. You can start with subjects related to general process, chemical and process engineering subjects, and also you can learn subjects related to key areas like bioprocesses and bioenergy, energy and environmental side, safety and process safety and process design side, and so and so. And also we have subfields like petroleum engineering, petrochemical engineering, polymer technology and polymer processing, food and bioprocesses, right? And also in energy and environment. So all these areas full of idea and a modern way of learning, and modern tools are used. So you can, from the very beginning onwards, you can start to learn with our new curriculum. You can start learning computer-aided tools, which is we have dedicated software tools and programming. All the computational tools we are using for our design work and all the related subject areas, right? So that is also integrated in our curriculum. So that's the overall idea about our curriculum. So if you have specific questions, I would like to answer in the question and answer session. So I think I'm not taking much time. I think you can search in our website for more details about our program. So I think that's what I just want to pass as a message to all these freshers. So maybe we can discuss more in the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you addressed most of the common concerns that the fresh undergraduates have when selecting our department. So thank you for that. For the next session, we have Mr. Susiri Costa, who is a proud alumni of our department. Following his undergraduate studies, he pursued a master's degree in financial economics at the University of Colombo. He also has completed his chemistry degree at the Institute of Chemistry, Ceylon, and is a past finalist of both CIMA and CFA exams. He served as a full-time lecturer at our department for 3 years, during which he always pushed us to think out of the box, be more confident, and be more interactive. Currently, Mr. Costa is a Ph.D. candidate at the University of Melbourne, Australia. Sir, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Manendri, for the introduction. Yeah, so it's good to be back after a little while. So yes, before talking about the chemical and process engineering and what are the possibilities and all the things, so basically I was there in 2013 department that I should go, like you guys. So it was a common issue that we always have, so to select which field. Currently my concern is, after coming to Australia, basically, the thing is the world is moving on. So if you look at the world right now, there are two things currently happening across the world, especially in the developed countries. There are two things that's for the future happening. One is the digital transformation, as you all know, with the ChatGPT and everything, the deep learning and artificial intelligence, with the social media. Yes, the digital transformation is happening. On the other hand, there is a huge transformation happening across the world for the crisis. So if you look at the bigger picture in the Europe, in Australia, in Canada, all these developed countries, they are putting a huge effort. Like there will be huge opportunities coming up in the future decades in these countries because of this transition towards the climate change. So if you look at this context of climate change, what's the things are happening? One thing is they are transferring their energy usage from the petroleum industry to the renewable sector, mainly to hydrogen, batteries. So when you hear these hydrogen, batteries, all these comes under chemical and process engineering. On the other hand, they are like targeting to reduce the carbonization, like the carbon emissions, especially in the industry. So they require the experts in the process industries, because that is very crucial for them right now. Because if the planet needs to survive, they need to do this action. So the chemical and process engineers for sure have a higher demand in the foreseeable future, because the world is rapidly changing. Because if you come to a country like this, you'll see like the effort they are putting in, really. And even when we go to the business conferences, things like that, we see that there is a shortage of engineers with the strong technical backgrounds to handle these issues. So it's very vital that you have a strong technical background, especially if you have a background in chemical and process engineering, so that first I'll talk about what are the working opportunities abroad for the chemical and process engineering. So as you all know, like majority of the, a considerable amount of students move to Australia just after their degree, whether it's chemical process or whether it's any degree from the University of Moratuwa, you get the opportunity to work for 18 months in Australia for the working visa. And then majority of the students then again stay with the other working visas. So that is one opportunity available here. But on the other hand, there are students moving to countries in Europe, in Canada, as well as to work in the petroleum industry. But if you look at how majority of the students move, they are moving through the higher studies, like they're applying for masters or the PhDs, and then they transit into the industry because that is the easiest path. So rather than like applying, because whatever the field you engage, there is a low tendency that immediately after your graduation, that the foreign companies would recruit you because they need to provide you the visas and everything. So there is a high chance that you can go to a university for a master's and then you can settle in any of the countries. Because now I see like a lot of students moving to Europe these days, especially to UK. So because of the quality, as Dr. Rathnayaka said, in our degree program, you can handle any of those degrees very easily. Even now, like very recently, I got some calls from the students saying that the exams are very easy there because we have like put a lot of hard work at the chemical and process engineering department in Sri Lanka. So overall, there are a lot of opportunities to work across the globe for chemical and process engineers, and it's not limited just to chemical and process engineering because we have graduates working at the nuclear plants, then we have graduates working in the supply chain, then we have graduates working in sectors like the Asian Development Bank, in economics. So the chemical and process engineering is very vast. So people are moving to different areas according to their willingness. So you get that opportunity after being a chemical and process engineer. So that is a great thing about this chemical and process engineering, the opportunities you get in different areas. So I think if you are trying to move abroad, so this will be a great opportunity that this chemical and process engineering degree. And the other way to move abroad is to do a PhD or to engage in research. So if you look at the amount of students that have moved to PhDs from the chemical and process engineering department, many students have gone to Norway, then to Canada, then to Europe, Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, Finland, and then there are students studying at Australia, Singapore, and even in the Asian countries. So you get a whole lot of universities across the globe that you can get access because your degree is accredited. So that is a great opportunity for you to like settle in a foreign country or enjoy the foreign conditions. And if you look at like from my experience, currently I am doing research at University of Melbourne, which is like the top university in Australia. And I am basically doing my PhD on hydrogen because Australia is actually planning to build very large hydrogen generation plants. And even they are targeting to export hydrogen because hydrogen is going to replace a bit from the petroleum industry in the future. So we are like, now when we are doing the research, we understand the background and a very strong technical background. When your basics are very sound, you can manage many things. So that's the beauty. So when you do chemical and process engineering at our department, you will get a chance to establish yourself. So in the aspect of the research, so I'd like to tell the scope of research, it's very vast. Even with compared to the industries, the research areas are very vast for our students. Like now I have a friend from my batch, the same batch, who's doing research combining the engineering science and the economics at Australian National University. And how the economies are going to get impacted from the COVID, the recognition across the globe. So some go to the polymer engineering, hydrogen that I am doing. Then the others are going to the chemistry. So you have ample opportunities available after this degree. And if you look at my personal experience, like I did my internship at a pharmaceutical company, and then I did lecturing at the department, basically focusing on the polymer. Then I just came to Melbourne, and I am studying and I'm doing my PhD on energy. So you see, even for a single man, I'm shifting different beauty of this field. So you'll get this opportunity to explore these different fields and understand, okay, so what is the best field that you can explore? Like it is not just the common chemical and process thing. You understand, yes, I want to be an energy engineer. I want to work in the energy sector. Then you move to energy sector. You don't have to worry about the other engineering fields, about the polymer or the food. Some would find an interest in the food engineering. So that will be your choice. On the other hand, you need to think about, especially when you're making this decision, your financial stability. Because like after passing out, this salary and the financial stability is very critical. So I believe the chemical and process engineers have a good opportunity to earn a decent amount of salary. And like for every batch, there'll be many people who will be like getting into like exploring their potential and earning a lot. So you need to find your way after the degree, how to explore these opportunities and how to connect with the society, how to network. And if you do it correctly, I think you have a huge success. You can have a huge success in your financial stability. So if you look at currently the other fields, like if you look at some other fields, they are at the top because of the salaries. And the model that it offers is a little bit of different compared to the other fields. It will take a little time for you to settle in that industry and to rise up the ladder. And after that, you'll be well established. But if you go abroad, for certainly, you'll have a very good salary. So those are the options you guys have after being a chemical and process engineer. But always, like my recommendation is that when you are taking this consider two factors. First is whether you like this field or not. That is the one thing you need to decide, whether you like this field or if you don't like, then you won't find that willingness to explore that field. Second is think a little on the financial stability. So those two factors are the most critical factors in life, whether you like this field. So when you take a decision, think about these two factors and then take the decision. I think all the engineering fields have like a different sense. All these fields are very good fields. They have like different positives and the different advantages. But one thing about this chemical and process engineering is that its broadness and its ability to provide you to explore many other fields. So that is the very great thing about this field. And at the same time, like since I did chemistry and chemical engineering, don't get into that misconception like this is fully chemistry. But if you like chemistry, you have a certain component to explore. So this is not a fully chemistry degree. So you'll have a certain component. If you like chemistry, you can explore and you can go through that area. Because you'll be taught like the chemistry, chemical thermodynamics, then the kinetics. You'll have a much more like the physical chemistry. Like if you study, when you study A levels, you know, it's about the physical chemistry. Then you have a lot of from the other fields as well, from the physics and mathematics as well. So it is a mixture. So just understand correctly, as Dr. Rathnayaka said, just go and Google exactly what is chemical and process engineering and read a bit. Then you will understand what's the difference between just studying chemistry and being a chemical and process engineer. So overall, if you look at the global context, how the world is changing right now and how the future will look like, because remember this thing, this world is going through a huge transition within this decade and two. It's not like previous 2 decades where the things happened. There'll be huge transitions. There'll be very critical transitions happening across the globe. So chemical and process engineering will be very critical for this transition. So based on that, take your decision, and I hope that you'll take the best decision. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Although you are no longer affiliated with the university, we are very grateful for the support that you extend to us at any time. Now we have reached the final session for the day, which is the Q&A session. So as undergraduates who are awaiting the field selection, I'm sure that all of you have a lot of questions to get clarified. Please sorry to clarify anything you have. So you can either unmute yourself and ask questions or send them to us through the chat box. All right. So we already have in difference between a chemical engineer and a process engineer. I would first like to direct the question to Dr. Rathnayaka, then to Mr. Costa.
Okay, so the question is asking about chemical engineer and process engineer. It depends. You can't say that exactly. It is actually interrelated, but maybe normally we say chemical engineer in abroad, especially global industries. Engineers who work in gas and oil field, petroleum and petrochemical industries, and also chemical production or chemical development industries, right? So for an example, if you think like sulfuric acid manufacturing plant or caustic soda manufacturing plant, or maybe it can be even oil refinery, crude oil refinery, or petroleum refinery, something like that, or maybe even gas processing industries, right? So those things, basically the job title comes as chemical engineering, right? And chemical engineering itself as a separate area. If you say there are degrees in, if you search in the internet, you can say chemical engineering, bachelor's of chemical engineering, more oriented towards those processes. But when we say process goes for processing, it goes for various other areas also. So process industry, maybe even non-gas oil fields, like even you can say like sugar industry, or maybe a fast-moving consumer goods industry, or maybe food processing, right? So like that, process engineer can work in manufacturing industries also. Anything, anywhere the processes happen, or any process. So it can sometimes even it can go beyond the chemical processes. So chemical process is one type of process, but there are other processes also, like textile processing, polymer processing, something like that. So that more process engineers can work there, but chemical engineer title will not be there in those industries. So that is the main difference, I think, in practical words. In process industries as a process engineer also, and also normally if I haven't seen specific degrees like bachelor's of process engineering, normally it comes with chemical and process engineering or biochemical process engineering or petrochemical process engineering, something like that. So always process is affiliated with chemical or something like that, related industrial process engineering may be there. So that's the difference in my words. I think maybe Mr. Costa also may contribute.
Yes, I think I fully agree with the answer. Like, if you are doing a purely a chemical engineering degree, you'll have much more exposure towards chemistry a little bit, because it will be mainly focusing on the chemicals and chemical related stuff. But in the process industries, we get the opportunity like process optimization, then regarding all the items happening in a process. So Lean Six Sigma, whatever the inventory management, supply chain. So that area comes from the processing. So that chemical stuff, the chemical related things come from the chemical. And when you combine these two together, I think that is where that the strength of our degree comes in. That opportunity, that you have 20 in both the chem. If you those two and work together, yeah, that will be a great opportunity. So there will be a slight differences as well as, but when you connect those two together, I think that will be more advantageous. So that is, I think, one of the biggest strengths of our degree. So that's what I have to say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question also I would like to direct to both speakers. It's about from the industry categories such as energy, food, petroleum, and other categories, what are the best and what offer the most opportunities?
Okay, may I answer? First, it's not good to say that this area is the best or something like that, but maybe it depends on the location. So, it depends on the opportunities, number of opportunities. So if you go to Middle East, more petroleum, petrochemical, gas and oil, all that. And also maybe some countries in Europe, also the same scenario, right? You have a lot of petrochemical and all, but maybe some countries, maybe it may be dairy industry or maybe some kind of farming industries related processes, goods manufacturing like that. And maybe in USA, maybe it may be more towards bioenergy, environmental, like that. So it depends on the country and the location. That's what I just wanted to say. And but in Sri Lanka, if you ask me for Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka have all these. Of course, you know Sri Lanka is somewhat pioneer in those days in textile processes. But now I don't think that it is. I mean, going forward, but there are plenty of for textile processing industries in Sri Lanka. So even textile processes also our people have opportunities. But now what is I think if we take the company list or company directory in Sri Lanka, most of the middle scale and small scale companies are there for especially this FMCG category. Right, so those processes also, especially like food processing, and like even the I mean large scale companies, even multinationals like Unilever's, Nestle, and John Keels, and so and so, they also have requirement of chemical and process engineers in their businesses. So it's as Mr. Costa said, it's entire supply chain. So everywhere in the supply chain, the beauty is chemical and process engineers can work. So that is the thing. So all these areas have opportunities. We can't say the best one is that, but we can say opportunities. Even non-process, example, two guys joined last from the very recently graduated batch for dangerous goods handling in marine related companies, right? I mean the marine services providers, right? So they are working in the Sri Lanka port city, the new one. in a maybe a foreign company, affiliated foreign company, but their job title is dangerous goods handling engineer, but they are chemical and process engineers. So that's another different field. So like that, there may be very new fields also emerging. The beauty of the wide broadness of our field creates those opportunities.
Yeah, just to like add it, it depends on the condition. Like if you look at a country like Australia, where too much of production processes are not happening, but like they have metal resources, so there are opportunities in such sectors in Australia. And on the other hand, there are like the job opportunities for the supply chain and logistics, because what they do mainly is getting the products and distributing, and a little bit value addition, not the exact, the whole process is not mainly happening in countries like here. So it will depend on that. But overall, if you look at the value of a sector, financially, the energy has the biggest financial value, but it does not mean it will give them more job opportunities for a particular sector. Because if you look at Sri Lanka, like we see people working across like from different wages. My experience is like even with the few years, there has been transitions happening for the job market. So it's not particularly one sector gives you the opportunities. With the time when the economy changes, your opportunities will change. So I think, but the good thing is you have many demanding fields that will like that will exist forever unless this earth exists, like energy, pharmaceuticals, food. Those fields will exist forever if human needs to survive. So job opportunities will be there forever. So you just need to find what you like. So that's the only thing in chemical and process engineering. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question I'd like to direct it to Mr. Costa. What are the international scholarship opportunities available for students in this field?
Ships like for so I'm not going to talk about a very specific one type of scholarship, but if you look at any university offers PhD scholarships like from their university itself. Like for example, University of Melbourne have their research excellence like scholarships, as well as then there will be industrial scholarships, where you're coming for the PhD or for the research to solve an industrial problem, collaborating with an industry. So for that, and apart from the universities, then there are national scholarships, like from government to government, where the scholarships happen. So there are such opportunities as well. So if you look at the scholarship opportunities, what I feel is if you the opportunities are always there. The scholarships are always there in the foreign countries, because to be honest, if you come to Australia, you will see that very limited amount of Australians are doing PhDs. So mainly they need people from the other countries to come in and do their PhDs. So because that is a requirement. So we see many Asians coming to do PhDs because one thing is they have very strong foundations. And they are very committed for their work. So if you're planning to go anywhere like Canada, Europe, Singapore, Thailand, Australia, whatever the country, the university scholarships are there, then the government scholarships are there. You can explore like when you come into the final years, you can explore the opportunities. But what I need to say is it's not a matter of the opportunities. Opportunities are always there, but to grab those opportunities, you need to perform, and you need to like get the opportunity that you get at the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering and do your best. Like if, for example, I'll just tell about one incident. Like the last time when the students applied for the Germany, there was a criteria that you need at least a second upper to get in there. So since all of you are like at the first stage of your degree, there are like 7 semesters for you to perform. And what I can say is, if you are working at the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering, without a doubt, very easily you can go for a second upper. Even if you're working first class, is very reachable at the kind of chemical and process engineering. So the opportunity wise, there are many scholarships. Like if you look at generally a scholarship, it will cover all your academic expenses. Then it will give you a living allowance as well. So you can happily live in this country until your PhD completes. And then after that, especially if you look at countries like Australia, they have specific visas available, like the graduate visas for the PhD students, so that you can easily countries like in Australia you have Australian awards. So in Germany you have DARD. Many scholarship schemes are there. You can get a scholarship. It's not very hard. It is that you just need to perform during your undergraduate to your full potential. That is the key. If you do that, don't worry about these scholarships. You will get the opportunity.
Yeah. The next question, I'm going to direct it to Dr. Rathnayaka, because Dr. Rathnayaka is a person who is very involved with industrial research, and this is regarding that. For someone whose main interest is for research, aside from academia, what does the corporate or industrial research landscape look like in the field of chemical engineering? Is it as widespread as a field like biotech?
Okay, okay, very good question. I think the audience is very keen on this asking questions, right? Okay, first thing, I think I add something to so and come to this. As Mr. Costa explained, in addition to these scholarships, we have the importance is our field, this chemical and process engineers, after you complete our degree with maybe second upper or maybe better academic performance, you are open to a lot of areas in higher studies, right? So research, actually research comes with academic research as well as industrial research. The importance is, now this question you are asking about industrial research. So the research areas, the wideness or broadness of research areas, if you can pick up one topic, because when it comes to research, the most important thing is the research gap, or what is not done in the current studies, existing studies. So if you check, it's very easy to find a research problem, or maybe there are in industrial terms, in academic research, it is very easy to find a research gap in this area because we have wide areas, and it's very difficult, very important to, very easy to find out a research problem to carry away with academic research. And when it comes to industrial research, similarly, because of the broadness, our relevant topics, relevant areas to our field are a lot, so vast. So because of that, many industries have their problems related to our field. For example, like it may be in environmental field, they really want to find a solution for their maybe the waste, or maybe effluent, or maybe something like that. Or it may be they want to improve their process for a certain target. That is also process engineering. So, it's related to chemical and process engineering. And also it may be application of a renewable energy to a current conventional energy type. So like that, various ways, it is to so many problems we can find to engage with the research. So that is maybe company-wise research going on. So most of the well-established companies have separate research and development sections. It may be even product development and process development also. Sometimes most of the multinationals, what they do is they engage in progressive research for developing their products to come up with more economic and also more precious products for the requirements, matching with the demand for their customers. And also economic and more optimum processes for their industries. So that goes to process development side. So in both these areas, the chemical and process engineer can engage in research. Then out of the box, all the other parts in the supply chain, transportation, logistics, maybe storage, waste handling, waste disposal, waste management, everything. Other than the main process, all the other associated sub-processes, sub-areas in the entire supply chain also can be engaged with your most of them in Sri Lanka, as well as in Sri Lanka, there are some research institutes, and when it goes to abroad, there are so many research institutes. So if you are willing to do higher studies in some area, but you don't like to engage in academic practice, that may be the requirement. So for you, the person who asked this question, so then you can join with this type of industrial research institutes, and you can progress your career as an industrial researcher in this area, right? In any area that you that is relevant. Also, for example, John Keel's research, right? Or maybe I know several people work in different research and developments departments, some as R&D managers, some are even after several years. I know some of our alumni people who graduated from our department are working as general manager research and development. That's their title, right? So like that, so that means he's the head of that department. So like that, it's open. So it doesn't mean you engage in research, doesn't mean you should engage in academic if you don't like that profession, you can always become an industrial researcher. There are so many guys I know, our graduates working in Europe, Australia, and other countries who are working as industrial researchers after their PhD. After their PhD, they are working as researchers there and earning quite a lot of money than an academic lecturer, right? So even because they are linked with the industries and their revenues are high, because normally academic field is considered as a service sector or maybe a welfare service sector. So that is why normally academic sector is salaries are lower compared to that. So that's a good opportunity. Most of the people are taking that opportunity at the moment also. I know even some guys, very recently graduated guys, migrated and joined with such industries, working in consultancy, design sectors also. So because the level of design work that we engage in our curriculum. So in final year, we have separate design projects, research projects. So we that PhD, they can start up their small businesses. They can also provide consultancy. Even entrepreneurship can be initiated in various ways. It doesn't mean you should develop your products by your own. That is also possible. You can develop a process and do it. And also you can provide consultancy, because I know some guys who provide consultancies for well-known industries, even in abroad, and earn quite a lot of money. Some are staying in Sri Lanka and earning money. So that is another area that even if anyone is interested in entrepreneurship, there are a lot of doors that can be opened, right?
I just wanted just to add a little on like what's really happening in countries like Australia. Like I think because you asked that, who asked that question is because in Sri Lanka, what we see as academic is like one who's doing research and lecturing, because in Sri Lanka, like the expectation of academic is to do research and to do lecturing, everything together. But in countries like this, it's different. Like there are people who do lecturing and research as well. Then there are specific researchers who don't do lecturing at all. They are in the they don't get involved in the lectures or paper marking or anything. So that's very different compared to Sri Lanka, how things are happening. And especially when you look at, like, as Dr. Rathnayaka said, there are companies, like if you look at bigger companies, even in Australia, like they have their R&D departments. So they will have their R&D, like the staff from the students, like who have a good technical background. At the same time, the universities here work in a different way. Like they need industrial collaboration to do research. So they heavily involved with the industries in these countries to do research. So it's not much, there is no much gap about industrial and academia in here. Academia is separate. Yeah, they have their lecturing, paper marking and all the things. But when you look at the research, there are fundamental researches happening for the, like, if you have a fancy idea, yeah, you can do a research. But on the other hand, there are a lot of industrial research happening within the universities. And even if you're doing a PhD, even for myself, now I can get, like, work in a company to get some experience for, like, with the R&D teams. So those opportunities are also available in these countries to collaborate with the industries and get the experience. So like there are different pathways in different countries. So I think, as Dr. Rathnayaka said, there are ample of opportunities with the industry.
Sorry to disturb, Manindri. There's one more resource person in our participant list. That is one of our alumni, Mr. Tasmika Bandara. I think he's now, studying Ph.D. in UK. So he also would like to tell some words about this question. So can we give time to him?
Yes, sir, of course, we have enough time.
So, Mr. Tasmika, are you available?
Yes, sir. Very good morning to you. It's morning here. From what I heard, people are more interested in how to go abroad and about scholarship. So myself, I did my undergraduate in University of Moratuwa and straight away got a chance to do my PhD without going for an MSc. So in countries like UK, there are so many chances because now in countries like UK, they are focusing more on net zero emission targets to become in 2050. So in that field, there are a lot of chances to us, especially as chemical engineers, because we cover a lot of areas that is required for a sustainable engineer, like clean energy and life cycle assessment. And I am someone who got such a chance. So in the future as well, I think there will be more chances in this area in countries like Europe and UK. And people in chemical engineers are mostly wanted in those kind of fields, because in other fields, they don't give you that fundamental or the vast knowledge which is required to be successful in sustainable engineering and those fields. And in my case as well, I got such a chance, and I think there will be more chances like these in the future as well.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question is open for all speakers. It's about whether there are any opportunities for chemical engineering students in the aerospace industry.
If I go first, like, in the aerospace, it's like this. Now, if you look at my research, like came to Australia and we got a grant to establish something called a cryostat. That's like my research is basically focused on the cryogenics. So if you look at what is a cryogenic is something like you work at the temperatures, let's say below minus 150 degrees Celsius. So absolutely, like if you look at the hydrogen liquefies at 20 Kelvin. So you guys know that after 0 Kelvin, that temperature, the 20 Kelvin is very close by. So if you need to liquefy hydrogen at the normal atmospheric pressure. So you need to reach 20 Kelvin. So the cryogenics, this liquid hydrogen is a fuel that's generally used for the space industries. This equipment that we got to University of Melbourne once, like after I arrived, we applied, our research team applied and got this equipment to test materials. So this is the first in Australia because those equipments are only available in the countries where there is space exploration. Like if you look at China, then US have one equipment. Then very recently, the Korea got one to test because of the hydrogen. You have, I think, the opportunity if you need to explore such fields like space. Yes, you have the opportunities, but you need to find the common platform where the chemical and process engineering and the space aerospace engineering combined together. There are things like the fuels and the things like that where we can both work together on the common platform. So I think it's a possibility to go into, because my supervisor is plan to attend like NASA this year to get some experience with this stuff regarding this liquid hydrogen. So I think it's a possibility to do it.
Dr. Rathnayaka, do you have any input on that?
Yes, I think I fully agree with Mr. Costa. So aerospace engineering, there are possibilities because there may be, I know some guys also have moved, but aerospace engineering is a different field. I must say that, but there may be opportunities, but you may need to, if you have interest in that, there may be possibilities coming from this because you do energy side and related things, and especially the product development, even material side, polymer side. So those areas can address you, but maybe you need some further training and further engagement in that area to reach that industry. But of course, there may be many opportunities. Yes.
We have a similar question about whether there are opportunities for chemical engineers in the nuclear energy industry.
For the nuclear energy, I think we have alumni working in Canada in the nuclear plants. I think, yes, because by experience now, since our alumni are working there, so I think the opportunities do exist in nuclear plants, but maybe you need since the chemical and process engineering is very vast, after you, if you feel like you need to go into food industry and then go to nuclear, then you need to bridge it. But if your intention from the beginning is to go to the nuclear, then you need to focus in such areas. And I think there is a possibility to get into that field.
Yes, thank you, sir. The next question, I'd like to direct it to Dr. Rathnayaka because of his mechanical engineering background. What is the difference between process engineers, industrial engineers, and manufacturing engineers, which fall under the mechanical engineering field versus those in the chemical engineering field? I think Dr. Rathnayaka got disconnected probably.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry.
Right. Okay. So the question was, what is the difference between process engineers, industrial engineers, manufacturing engineers, which fall under the mechanical engineering field versus those in the chemical engineering field, since both parties are working in factories?
Yes, very good question. So I think it's maybe apparently hard to separate, but I'll explain you because I have worked as a manufacturing engineer also, and also process engineer also. So the difference between manufacturing or industrial engineer and process engineer means generally, if you go through manufacturing engineering, industrial engineering, you will not touch with the process design, process development, process optimization areas, right? That's the key difference, right? But of course, manufacturing engineer, industrial engineer, production engineer, these fields are available. I think in some universities we have production engineer, some universities we have industrial engineer and manufacturing engineer. So all these are more oriented there, what they learn actually, operational management, operational operations in the industries, manufacturing industries, process industries. So and also they can engage in engineering side like maintenance management, utilities management, engineering services providing to the manufacturing process or processes, that part. But if we ask a manufacturing engineer or industrial engineer or production engineer to, can you provide us a small new, can you add us, can you design and provide us a small part as an add-on to this process, for example, or maybe the company is shifting from one product to another product, a new one. So you need to expand the plant. Can you design it? Then they would say they don't have that capacity. They don't have that. So, but if someone designs, they may be capable of developing it, right? So the designing part is coming from chemical and process engineer. So he's the originator of the process. So in my case, if I share my personal experience with you as a manufacturing engineer, because I didn't have any, I haven't done a bachelor's degree in chemical and process engineering. So I had in my job scale, I really had to develop some process for my company that I'm working. So develop means design and develop. So in that case, I really had to learn chemical and process engineering out of the university, maybe searching the books, textbooks, and so and so. So I had to learn, but I got a clear picture about the fundamentals of chemical and process engineering after I did my MSc and PhD in chemical engineering. So that's the thing. So even a manufacturing engineer can do something with that. Maybe looking at the internet sources or textbooks related to chemical and process engineering, but real design, real plant design, real process design originates from a chemical and process engineering. So that is the key difference. So that also helps in the industry for the chemical and process engineer. So if he is there, he can do a lot of new developments compared to a manufacturing engineer. But in Sri Lanka, we don't have a lot of plant design. We have plant design. Even in my case, I told you I had personal experience in adding new parts to the plant. So it takes like that. But new plant design and establishment, installation, and also those kind of things are comparatively lesser in the compared to global industries. So therefore, sometimes you may feel like manufacturing engineers and chemical and process engineers play the same role in the industry, local industry, but it is not like that. I think chemical and process engineer has some additional tools that he can use whenever it's required. So it's like whether you go to the war with one pistol and maybe a small gun, or maybe a set of lot of tools to the war. So like that. So chemical engineer has a lot of tools. Whenever he requires, he can take and play, right? So that's the difference.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So we have 2 more questions. If any of the participants have more questions, it's high time to send them in now. So the next question is regarding entrepreneurship. Does setting up your own manufacturing process entail a very high cost, or can it be done at a cost that a small business can handle?
So maybe I think entrepreneurship, maybe it's possible. Of course, that is the thing. So it depends on the scale. The cost is depending on the scale. No? So if you are trying to do it in the large scale, you have to have a lot of capital cost. But maybe there is a way, certain, value-added products with a very high unit price can be produced at a small scale. So that will not go for very high capital cost. So there may be ample opportunities in our field. to go for, like, for example, essential oils generate, right? Extraction, refinery, something like that, and maybe some chemicals like some materials like graphene out of graphite. So certain things, graphene oxide or something. So like that, there may be highly value added products. So that is possible with the lower capital cost. So it depends on the scale, but entrepreneurship always possible with ample of areas, right?
Mr. Costa, do you have any input on that with the entrepreneurship?
Yes, I think and of course we need more entrepreneurs on chemical and process in Sri Lanka. So that's a necessity at this point, because with the economic crisis, we need people to get into that entrepreneurship. So one thing is, when you understand the basics, you'll understand that what sort of, like, when you look at your financial possibility, then you can decide what sort of entrepreneurship you like to explore. Because if you think about these large petroleum corporations and things like that, those are like billion-dollar investments. But again, if you look at small companies, even like if you look at the YouTube generally, you see a lot of people without any background from chemical and process, but still produce like homemade soap and things like that. So, but as a chemical and process engineer, what you can do is you can optimize that process and you can develop high quality products. So if people without no background can do such small entrepreneurship stuff, of course, our engineers are capable of doing it. It's just whether you're willing to do it. If you're willing to do it, I think you can, like, you don't have to produce soap at home. You can go for more complex processes, of course, because you are chemical and process engineers. But when you get into that point, you'll decide depending on the financial capability. Because initially, if you're going for a very high investment, it's sound plan, so how you're going to expand it and go into the high end.
If a student has no special preference for a particular engineering field, do you think there is a good reason for them to select chemical and process engineering? I'd like to direct this to both speakers.
So I will very briefly answer that. My answer is yes. So if you haven't thought of any field, and if you, as Mr. Costa initially told in his speech, I really want to say that again. You have to think about two things mainly. So most important thing is your interest, right? If you are not interested in any field related to chemical and process engineering, that is, of course, you are out of the choice. But if you don't have any particular interest to any area, I think chemical and process engineering would be a better choice. Why? Later you can decide what you are going on, right? So because after doing chemical and process engineers, there are a lot of opportunities to other areas. So even you can decide the area while you are going on, because so many areas are approached. Even I know some of our graduates, some of chemical engineers working in civil engineering industries, construction industries, something called sustainable construction industries. And I know chemical and process engineers working in mechanical and industrial engineering fields. I know chemical and process engineers working in electrical engineering fields. The very recently talked UK, our alumni working as a PhD student in UK, he's studying in an electrical engineering department. Right, so like that, there are students who are doing PhDs and different areas in different departments, different areas, engineering fields, and even computer engineering, electronic engineering. We have several guys working at Intel, as I expressed previously. So it's possible for you to move to others. I know guys who are working in business as business analysts. So many people of our graduates, right? So any area, if you like to go to management side also, it's possible, right? So supply chain management, even general management, even you can as an added qualification to this and move forward. So it's like that. So so many opportunities are there. You will not be narrowed down. So it's a good decision if you are not coming up with a great choice at the moment. You will be saved if you select chemical and process engineers, because you are allowed to take any decision later.
Yes, so I think not having any preference for any engineering field is very common, and I believe it is the stance of like a considerable portion of a batch generally, because there are like two things. One is some of the students like engineering field, then there are students who don't like certain engineering fields and they don't have any preference among the other engineering fields, and then there are students who will prefer any of the engineering fields. So whatever your situation is, I think it's good if you have that willingness to be a chemical and process engineer. But even if you don't have it, so we gave an input regarding the financial background and the salary scale, and of course I will recommend you guys to search for it and like get the recommendation from the it would be a good choice, not because I like why I'm in the chemical and process engineering, because it opens you many doors for the future. So even if you like to incorporate a little bit of computer science for the chemical and process engineering, it's a possibility. It's because if you look happening in the other countries, there are many researchers happening of combining artificial intelligence with the process optimization. So these are like necessities, because the world is now not regarding a particular specific field. It's about a multidisciplinary effort to move the world forward. So that is the approach that's happening across the globe right now. So to do that, to work with multidisciplinary teams, this chemical and process is an ideal place, because you will get to learn like wide array of subjects that you can combine with the other fields and open the doors. So that is a critical thing. So if I need to highlight one point about this chemical and process, if you have to, like, if you don't have any preference, and if you're like if you need to take a decision, I believe the best, the two criteria, one is the financial stability, think about it. Second is just think which field would open more doors for you. So go for that field. So then you will have many doors at the end that you can open. Thank you.
And so we have covered all the questions from our participants. So Dr. Rathnayaka, as a person who is well experienced in academia and the industry both, and as someone who has a lot of knowledge about the curriculum we offer at our department, what are your final remarks for our participants?
I think you can hear me. So my final remarks is actually, I think we explained a lot about what is available in our curriculum and what are the opportunities for the chemical and process engineer, and all those things we explained a lot. So now it's your time to take a decision. So it's please make your decision based on your interest, right? So if you are not interested in this, so it's not, we are not saying just to take chemical and process engineering. So of course because it's the truth, right? So that what I feel as a person who is engaged in the field. So but it is your choice. You have the freedom to take any decision. But as we told you in, I mean, as we recommended you in the beginning, take this decision wisely. Think about everything, search about the opportunities, and then do it. So I hope you can. I wish you all the best to take a right decision and the best decision for your life, because it's your life. Ultimately, you should think about it and take that decision. So I think you can take a good decision. So that is what I'm telling. So anyway, I think we talked a lot about this field. So further, if you want to clarify anything, you are welcome to get it clarified through us, right? So thank you very much.
Right, thank you, sir. Actually, we have two more questions in the chat box that just came in now. So the first question I'll direct it to Mr. Costa. Can fresh graduates apply for jobs abroad, or does it need experience?
So just to keep chemical and process aside, and I'll just talk about generally for all the engineers. For all the engineers, like if you look at the current context, one of the possibilities that people explore is this working visa given by Australia. So you can come here for 18 months and find a job in a company because you have working visa here. So for that, you need to just apply after within 2 years of your graduation. So that's one possibility that people explore. Then the second one, when you think about an immediately pass out graduate, what I would say is there is a possibility. It's what I'm not saying like it's not impossible, but a higher chance is there that if you have like at least 2 to 3 years experience in a field, that the foreign companies have much more interest. If not, if you can come to a foreign country, because what you need to understand is if a foreign company is going to recruit you into a company, then they need to provide you with the working visas. So they need to sponsor the working visa from their company to get you there. So if you look at all the companies in any country, they would prefer to have the local talent there because that's much easier for the company because they don't have to handle all the visas and everything. So that does not mean you can't go abroad. If you have years of experience, actually, not just for the job, people generally apply for the PR as well, like the permanent residency as well. Because if you look at the economic expansion in Canada, currently many families are moving there with a little bit of experience. And even for countries like Australia with few years of experience, you can apply for PR if you meet the criteria what they need. So what I would say is there is a chance that I have seen few people from the chemical and process, even from the other fields, who have gone abroad immediately after their degree. But there is a higher possibility to go abroad or get recruited from a foreign company with a little bit of experience. That would be more advantageous. There is a high possibility, but if you are trying hard, so that's why if you look at majority of the students would prefer a master's or something like that, or to apply to Australia or to get there because it is much more easier at the current context.
Okay, thank you, sir. One final question, I'll direct it to Dr. Rathnayaka because of his experience in simulation software. Sir, I'm interested in applying simulations and designing and chemical and process engineering field. Can you give us a little idea about that?
The student is asking about process simulation, right?
Yes, process simulation and design.
Okay, right. So process simulation and design is an area that really conventional process design, because conventionally the process designs, plant designs, they actually engage with I'm talking about good old days before this computational approach didn't come. So-called simulators and those kind of process modeling and simulation tools were developed. So before that, what happened was the conventional design and optimization. It was a hell of a work. Actually, take too much time, so many costs, because the chemical engineers had to develop pilot scale plants and do so many experimentation, tests and trial runs, sometimes with several sets of new plants, so which wasted a lot of time and cost for the design and optimization work. But with process simulation approaches, it is possible to work with both the steady state, dynamic, any type of that you can develop virtual plants, in both theoretical and experimental approaches, because you can later validate with real data, and you can develop such processes and design them. And so it really needs some essence of computer programming and computational approaches. But we have well-developed area now in our curriculum, so you can engage in this field and work on this. So after you learn this, you can engage in consultancy fields, because even most of the industries now have started using these process simulators. I know in chemical industries, especially if you go abroad, they work with the companies, also work with real-time monitoring and real-time optimization. So they have they are working with well-known simulators. So it is like that. So I think you can get that experience in our curriculum. So we have dedicated subjects for that, and also you can engage practically. So I think it's a very interesting field. Actually, I'm also engaged in that field. Even we can do a lot of research through that. So there are certain things like that. So that's what I can say about it.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. So we will have to conclude the session now because time is running out. Mr. Costa, is there any final remarks that you would like to leave?
Yes, like Manandri, and there was a little question on how long does it take to get a job in Sri Lanka. So I'll answer the question. So how long will it take? So the quicker you prepare in the final year. So if you are prepared with your CV, the LinkedIn, and if you are prepared for the interviews, of course, before passing out, you'll get a job. But if you're not prepared, yeah, of course, after the final exams, you need to apply, and it will take a little time. Because I worked closely with 2015 and 16 batches. So the 15 batch got 50% got their job opportunities before the final exams. Before they are sitting for the final exams, they got recruited. And then the others got the job opportunities after within 1 month, around 70 to 80% got their jobs. So the quicker you apply, there is a high chance that you can get the job. So it's not a very big issue. The jobs are available, but it's the department has a certain responsibility, but majority of it's your responsibility. So if you take a responsibility, you can land in a good job. So that's my idea. So just to conclude, what I need to tell is this is a very critical decision because I'm not telling this decision will define your life. Like, let's say if you get a degree in whatever the engineering field, and later on, if you feel like I need to change the engineering field or I need to move into a completely separate field, it's possible. But your foundation, you are investing 3.5 years for this education. So that's a very large time. So that very long time you are investing, you need to invest it wisely. Because for majority of the people, this will be the foundation to build up their career. So there are people who will shift their careers, but for the majority, this will be the critical decision. So I think you need to take it very seriously. And when you're taking the decision, please, after listening from the other fields and from our inputs, and you do your self-exploration. Go to the internet. There are many resources available that will explain all the engineering fields that you like. And then you just think about all the inputs that we gave from our experiences. Then take the best decision for you. Like, if you are coming for the chemical and process engineering, yeah, you're mostly welcome to this department and to learn chemical and process engineering, because you'll have ample of opportunities in life to explore. And if you don't have any choice, this will be a very good department for you as well. So whatever the decision you make, I just need to tell, make a conscious decision so that you will have a very rational grounds on your decision, because later on in your life, when you look back at this decision, you don't have to regret. Like, don't keep to regret at the end of your life, like after 3 or 4 years, that I made an incorrect decision. So when you take a logical decision on a logical basis, if you are taking the decision, yes, I like chemical and process because I need to explore these fields and this is very interesting for me, yes, then you can stick to it. So take the decision very wisely, because this will be a very great platform. So your career mainly would be defined by this moment. So I hope you guys would come to chemical and process. Many of you would, whoever likes, would come to chemical and process and explore the field. So I wish all the best for you guys. And whatever the field you go, but if it's chemical and process engineering or whatever the other field, do your best. So don't define yourself from the marks of the first semester. There are 6-7 more semesters remaining. So don't give up at the beginning. Do your best. Go for the highest possible marks that you can achieve. So you'll be a very satisfied graduate at the end of your degree. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. We have arrived at the end of our session today. So once again, I'd like to extend our gratitude to Professor Shanta Egodage, Dr. Mahinsasa Rathnayaka, and Mr. Susiri Costa for their valuable contribution to this event. And thank you to all the organizers at the Chemical Engineering Student Society for this initiative to support our juniors. And also, finally, thank you to all the participants for actively participating in this discussion. And it was our pleasure to serve you with this initiative. Thank you.